everyone, it's Sharonda from AIN, and today I'm going to be reviewing House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2, The Rogue Prince. So guys, I know I missed last week's episode. I was out of town. I apologize, but we are back ready to dive into Episode 2 of House of the Dragon. And I have to say, just before I delve into this recap, shout out to HBO for hooking your girl up with some screeners. I appreciate you. And also, too, I'm really digging this show. Like, the fact that we're just focusing on the politics of how everyone is trying to find ways to rise to power, how to elevate themselves in the structure that we found them in. This kind of reminds me why I fell in love with Game of Thrones. I know we like to get on GLT about the last season, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about happy times. We're going to think about the reasons why we fell in love with Game of Thrones in the first place. And I like where they're going with House of the Dragon, and especially after some of the alliances that were made in this week's episode. I'm here for the pettiness. I can't wait for all the drama to happen after this big decision, especially that Lord Corlys makes at the end of this week's episode. But let's delve into it. Let's start from the top, where we're introduced to, am I assuming this is going to be our supernatural type of villain, the crab feeder, who we see is feeding sailors from Westeros to the crabs. I was like, dang, to the men, because they was definitely still alive, moving and kicking while the crabs was eating them. I was very sad for them. But I don't know what's going to happen. But I know that Lord Corlys, he's had enough. He's upset. My man was so upset that he just busted up in the meeting and interrupted the king and Raggedy Otto the Hand, talking about whatever that really didn't matter. And he said, y'all, what are you going to do about my ships? My ships, my sailors that I've lost, I've had enough. I need justice. Let's go to war. Was good, okay? Because it's on sight at this point. And so then Otto, he's such a hater. And I'm sorry, Otto, the Hand to the King is the most hating person that I've ever met in my life. I didn't meet him, but I'm just saying, he's a hater, the number one hater of all haters. I just don't understand it. He irks me to my core. I thought Damon's gonna be the one who's gonna be on my ish list, but it's Otto. It's Otto. He can get it on sight. So, basically they tell him hey man, chill out. We're going to compensate you. We're going to make sure that the families of the dead sailors, if they're going to get money, we're going to compensate you for your ships. And he was like, y'all, you don't understand. It's not about that, okay? Because they disrespected me. The crab feeder disrespected me. And now it's time to put some respect on my name. That's not what he said, but that's kind of what he said. And then he also had to remind them, and Lord Corlys had a really great point with this. Y'all didn't say nothing when Prince Daemon was literally wreaking havoc on all of Westeros. Literally last week we watched him chop off pings, arms, hands, legs. It was so many dismembered body parts that they needed 2 carts just to haul everything out. And that was only one night. That was one night, okay? So I was like, Lord Corlys, you got a point there. But hating Otto had to let him know quickly, sir, I know you're upset. You might be in your feelings right now, but let me remind you, you're not the king. So have several seats, keep your mouth shut, and sit down. And I was like, Yeah, they love putting Lord Corlys in his place. And it just leads me to believe that he's not going to make it to the end of this season. And I've just accepted that in my spirit, because the way that he's just been talking out the side of his neck, and especially with his alliance that he made at the end of this week's episode, I know he not gonna see no more screen time much longer. Let's just call it what it is. Let's already go ahead and prepare ourselves, prepare the crown to just pour some for Lord Corlys, because he's not gonna make it, y'all. But we see that after he was disrespected, and them saying just because you got a seat at the table don't mean you equal to the king. Princess Rhaenyra, she basically says hey, we have dragon riders, we can take care of this. And then hating Otto, just a hater to the core, basically says aren't there some other things that she could be taking care of? Cause girl, why you sitting up here talking? And I was like, sis, be seen, not heard, because they already mad at you because you were made the heir, and they don't like women, okay? You know that. So just chill. You got named heir. That's cool. I'm happy for you. I can't wait to see you shine, even though we know you're gonna be a tyrant. But just chill out for a moment. But Otto, he basically says hey, can you go figure out who's gonna be over the king's hand, be over the king's watch? Figure something else out, because what you're doing here, we don't need you talking in here. And so we see that she goes She goes to basically fulfill her duty. But I really love, first of all, Princess Rhaenyra has a smart ass mouth, and I'm totally here for this because she was clearing a lot of beaches this episode, and I was here for that. But when she was choosing the people, when she was looking at the different knights, I like that she was just like, hold on, y'all, because all these people talking about these like child crimes or things that they've helped reconcile, but who is actually seeing battle? Because right now, what you guys are giving to me is not giving worth my time right now, okay? Because I'm the heir, and I just have better things to do in life than to sit here and talk to people who really ain't about nothing. It seems like everybody here, you're scammers, okay? And you're not worthy to protect my father, all right? That's what she said. And I like that she raised that question, like, who actually has experience in battle? Because what are we doing here? And so, y'all, okay, now, low-key, Sir Kristen, he fine. I'm sorry, he's fine. Fine. I was like, can you come protect me, Zaddy, please? Thank you. So she asked him to basically give his little resume off, and then she decides that she wants to choose him, but it would not be an episode of House of the Dragon if Hayden ass Otto did not appear out of nowhere to basically just say like, hey, there's other people, don't move so quickly. And I like that she stuck to her guns, and she was just like, are you trying to tell me that someone like that you don't care about who protects my father? Shouldn't it be someone who has seen battle to be able to protect my father? And I'm glad that she stuck to her guns. And Otto, he just had to shut up. And I was like, finally, peace in my soul. But I know that I have another 45 minutes left for this episode, so it's not going to be the end of Otto. So we see that Rhaenys is kind of watching from afar. And I'm going to get on her because y'all know I got a lot of words to say about this marriage with Lena. I said, I know you effing lying, but I'm gonna hold my tongue. Let me just get back to this. But we see that we've kind of seen this hint of what Otto kind of had planned the entire time of having his daughter Alicent spend more time with King Viserys. And we see this relationship that's actually starting to grow, this bond that they're starting to have, where basically her father was preying on King Viserys' grief of losing his wife, which he's still trash for, and I'm never going to forgive him for that. But we see how he keeps encouraging her to talk to them. They kind of have a moment where he's like teaching her more about past history, and we see that he breaks the dragon. And we see later in the episode where she brings him the dragon back, she's made sure that someone's fixed it, which is a nice gesture towards him. Why I would never understand why Otto was pimping his daughter out. Like, I understand you're trying to rise to power, and I get that's how women are treated back then, but that doesn't mean it's going to sit right in my spirit, y'all. I'm just being honest with you. I get it. That's the times that we was in. Women ain't ish and still ain't ish now according to society, but it's still bothering me that he's pimping his daughter out. It just does not sit right in my spirit. But how I know that King Viserys is wrong, and he know he wrong, is when he was having the conversation with Alicent, and he was like, you don't tell Rhaenyra about these conversations, do you? And she was like, no. He was like, okay, I just want that to be between us. And I was like, so you probably want it to be between y'all because you know you trash, and you know you shouldn't be having these conversations with Alicent when you really should be trying to find a way to talk to your daughter who has lost yet another sibling and has lost her mother this time. And it's been half a year and you still really have not had conversations with her yet. So we do see that, and also too, let's point out that Alicent has daddy issues as well. So now I understand how disrespectful she's being to her friend, but it's still adults that play, so they still trash and wrong in the first place. But we see that King Viserys, he basically goes to meet with Lord Corlys and Rhaenys, and they have a conversation where he wants to address what happened in the council meeting. He wants them to know that, you know, he respects, you know, their relationship, and he wants to make sure that everything is good, but he's not quick to go to war. And Lord Corlys apologizes, and then he presents this little new idea that he has in order to marry both of their houses together so they could be strong for the realm now that everyone's upset that Rhaenyra is the heir, and hopefully with this new marriage they will actually be able to produce a male heir. So now it's like, okay, Lord Corlys and Rhaenys, y'all better go ahead and find a way to take back what's yours, since they denied Rhaenys the throne because she was a woman. And I was like, I'm okay with this, okay? So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, They had me in the beginning. And then when I saw that he was going to meet with their daughter, and I see that I'm looking at a child, I said, I know you effing lying right now. This is a child. She looks like she's 7. Not even 7. She looks like she was 6. And then you have the nerve to tell me later in the episode that she was 12? That girl don't look 12. First of all, her whole body isn't even grown because the wig looks so heavy, like it's weighing her whole body down and she's fighting for her life. I was just like, call DCFS, what is it, the Westeros Child Protective Services, whatever they had back in the day. Y'all know the girl was too young. And the fact that he's sitting up here walking and talking with this girl and she's talking about, I'm going to be able to provide you many heirs. I said, girl, you a child. You ain't even had your psych. Like, what is happening? And then seeing when my mom said I didn't have to bed you until I was 14. I was like, 14? 14. Call the Westeros Child Protective Services, okay? Call WCCFS or like CPS, whatever you need, whatever the little acronym in Westeros is, please call them right now because I was just very confused as to why y'all think this is okay. And then at first I thought that they were gonna like delay the marriage until she became of age, but no, they were gonna marry her like ASAP. Okay, let me just move on because I'm very, very disturbed by this. Like literally I had to pause because my mouth was on the floor and I had to pick my mouth up off the floor because I was just so disturbed by this. But let me just go on, okay? Just let me keep going. So, we do see, random side note, remember when the king cut his finger in last week's episode? We see that finger is rotting and they had to put his hand in the little thing of maggots. If y'all don't know, it was disgusting. I wish I could have had a warning, you know, because girl always eating and you just want to disrupt my eating. But you know that maggots can actually like eat disease and bacteria and stuff. So that was actually a good thing. I just wanted a little, you know, warning, like put your food down. We're about to have maggots on here. But we see that Rhaenys sees Rhaenyra watching her father with Laena, a child, a baby. And then they start having this conversation. And so she ends up telling him that, she asked her, like, does it bother you? And she was like, I understand my father's duty. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, girl, it don't bother you that you're marrying your child, your baby, to this grown-ass man, her grown-ass great cousin or second cousin? Like, it don't bother you? And when Rhaenyra said that back to her, I said, yes, thank you for giving me a character like Rhaenyra with a smart-ass mouth that she said that to her. Because I was like, sis, like, do you hear yourself right now? But she had to let her know, like, girl, I get it. I understand I'm trash. She didn't say she was trash, but she knows she's trash. But at the end of the day, she wanted to remind Rhaenyra that this system is not built for women. They will never see you as an heir to the throne. They will make sure that he fulfills his duty to marry somebody else. And then the first chance that they have a son, it's a wrap for you, sis. But then she was like, they're never going to put a woman on the throne. They had their chance and they didn't do it. And she said, sorry that you were a queen that never was. I said, girl, who is writing these lines for her? Because when I say, she was like, and that's how you clear a beach. I was just like, I am totally here for this dialogue. Whoever's been writing her lines, just chef's kiss, fantastic. Keep up the great work because I'm totally here for these reads. But she has a point. She really does have a point. And we've seen, because we know the ending to all of this, of what's to come, that we know that they do not care for women in positions of power. And so I like how she says that men would sooner put the realm to torch than to see a woman on the Iron Throne. And I love that line that she has, and especially because we know what's to come 172 years or over 200 years from now. But I really love that line. Now we see that there's a conversation where King Viserys is basically letting Alicent know of what's supposed to happen about him marrying Laena. However, her raggedy daddy comes in and says that they have to call an emergency council meeting because his raggedy trash brother Daemon has stolen one of the eggs, specifically the egg that was meant to be in the cradle for Rhaenyra's brother who had passed away. And he basically says like, hey, I got me a new girl, got me a new chick, because, you know, he hates his first wife. So he said he's going to take a second wife, Missera. I think her name is Missera, at Dragonstone, and she's with child. And so he basically stole the egg in order to, you know, for his child, But then, so then they get into it. And then the brother is like, King Viscera is like, oh, hell no. Let me get my stuff together. We finna go ride out on Dragonstone. And then Otto hating behind, which was actually right for once, was like, you can't do this. Let me go. And I was like, yes, look at the Lord looking out. Yes, please send Otto hating behind to Dragonstone so Daemon can kill him. Because to be honest, I now appreciate the grief that Daemon was causing Otto in the first episode. I appreciate that now because I hate Otto so much. So I was like, Lord, please send him and make sure that he gets killed. And I'm sorry, Lord, I don't want people to die, but we just talking about people that's not real in a TV show. But I was like, please kill him. But then I checked IMDb and I saw that he was going to be there for 10 episodes. So I know that he's not going to be killed this season, which really made me upset and I'm sad. But hashtag Otto has to die. That will be me every single week, even though I know he's going to be here for these 10 episodes, unfortunately. So we see that they end up going, and we see before he leaves, Otto tells his daughter he pimps her out and says, go to the king to keep him company since he can't go. And I just don't understand. But they end up going to Dragonstone. Otto brings his men with him, and then Prince Damien was waiting for him at the door with Mysaria, who literally they called a whore every 5 seconds. And I was like, sorry to that woman, you didn't deserve this. But he kept disrespecting her. And then he was like, he was really being disrespectful to his girl. And so when he threatens his girl's unborn child, and they pulled them swords out so quickly, I was like, yes. I was like, get him, Jade. Kill him, Damon. Like, kill Otto real quick. But then I got really confused because then Rhaenyra popped up out of nowhere. And I was like, now sis, you the heir. I know you weren't supposed to leave and go to Dragonstone. So I know you finna get in trouble when you get back home. But she popped in with the dragon because, Otto got scared. Because Daemon had to remind him, hey, sweetie, did you forget, like, my family? You forget who we is? And we saw the dragon was sitting there like, I dare you to do something. And that's when Otto told them, go ahead, put the swords back. Yeah, because you weren't finna do nothing with this dragon. Like, I'm just sitting up here thinking, so none of y'all plan for Daemon to have the dragon. How that makes sense? Did we truly think this plan through, okay? But I was also here for my little boo thing. What is his name? What is my boo thing's name? Sir Kristen, who had to remind Daemon, I know who I am. Maybe you remember me as the person that knocked you off that damn horse in the first episode. I was like, let him know, okay? But what had me upset is when Rhaenyra got there and she started asking questions, and she was like, so you with child? So she got a kid in her stomach? And he was like, well, not yet. I said, hold on, wait a minute. So you doing all of this, you done stole this egg, and she not even pregnant? She not pregnant. Even Mysaria she had to walk her behind off, because I was like, girl, just destroy everything, because you did all of this and you ain't even got no kid on the way. She ain't pregnant. No nothing. Then Rhaenyra, she popped up like, what's good, uncle? You sitting up here in my house that I paid for, okay? This is my stuff that you living here rent free right now in my place. And I was like, get her. And then basically she was like, so I know I'm the issue that you have, so go ahead and kill me right now. And I was like, girl, like, okay, it's fine. I know you're not gonna die, so go ahead. But I was just like, wow, like, you just being this bold? I was like, I'm totally here for this. He walked away, and then he was being very petty how he threw the egg at her. I said, now, sir, why you throw that dragon egg at her like that? But they leave. And then I found out another, like, the plot thickens. They not even married. They not married. She ain't got no baby on the way. She don't even want to have kids. She don't even want to be married. She was like, sir, I think that you have this, like, things a little bit confused. I'm only with you because I wanted liberation, okay? I've been sold more times than I can tell you right now. I don't have time for this mess. I don't want to live in fear anymore. That's the only reason why I'm with your raggedy behind. Ain't nobody trying to be your wife, your second wife, your third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And I'm definitely not trying to have no raggedy white-haired kids running around being crazy like they daddy. So absolutely not. And I said, let him know. But we see that they end up leaving. And once again, Rhaenyra was like, and that's how you clear a beach. They left. They go back home. Then Sir Harold snitches on Rhaenyra to let her father know where she was. But in the midst of all of this, her father is having a conversation with one of the lords, and essentially he's trying to figure out, like, should he marry Laena? And from everyone's standpoint, even when he told Otto and them, even though Otto was being manipulative, trying to make him second guess himself, everyone was like, it's a good marriage. Like, this is honestly the route that you should be going in. But it seems like he really didn't want to do it. But one of the things that I am happy is that Rhaenyra and her father, they have a conversation where they're actually able to talk about the grief of losing their mother, of losing her mother and his wife. And I'm happy that they're actually able to talk. And the fact that he tells her, like, you know, I have to take another wife, you know, I'm the king, this is what has to be done. And I hate that Rhaenyra always has to suppress her emotion, where she always feels like her duty as a princess to the realm comes first before just the father and daughter relationship. I hate that she has to grow up so fast. And even her father kind of makes that comment, like, as soon as your mother passes, like, you became a woman out of nowhere. But I'm happy that they kind of are on the same page at this point in time, and where he says he's made a decision. And then we go to the end of the episode when they're at the council meeting. Corlys, he all geek, like he finna stand up like, yeah, son, I'm finna be second in power. But then he makes the announcement that Alicent is going to be the person that he weds, and so that hating ass Otto, I'm like, this is why you're gonna be on the season for 8 more episodes. This is why. Rhaenyra, she was not happy. Lord Corlys, he definitely was not happy, and they both walked out. And then Alicent trying to look away, like, bitch, you know you wrong too, hoe. I don't care, cause she ain't no kid no more. She finna be married and having kids. She a hoe. I said what I said, okay? But that's not the end of the episode. We see that Corlys is basically having this conversation with someone who we cannot see about how he said, I built this brick by brick. He didn't say that, but he said he built these ships off the strength of his back, giving this whole little story. And then we see he talking to Raggedy Prince Daemon, where they want to make an alliance. And then he started talking smack about King Viserys. And Daemon said, hold on now, son. Like, hold on. I know I'm beefing with my brother, but that's my brother. That's my blood. I can say what I want to say. But what you're not going to do, you're going to be respectful. You're not going to talk out the side of your neck. And I was like, this is why I know Lord Corlys is gonna die, because like everybody just be disrespecting him. And so basically he tells him that he wants him to take care of the crab feeder who is killing his man, and his brother was too scared to do it himself. And so then we see like this creepy crab feeder. I don't know what is it a mask? Is that his face? I don't know what it is, but I know that the crab feeder ain't nobody to play with. I know that. Anyone who just be having crabs eating humans alive, I probably wouldn't mess with them. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm happy for this alliance, even though I know it's going to ultimately lead to Lord Corlys' death. But I want to see how Rhaenys responds to it. But she's been disrespected her whole life as well, especially since they didn't want to make her queen. But I'm really digging these episodes so far. It's only 2 episodes in. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm digging House of the Dragon so far. I'm here for the family drama. I'm here for the politics and just everyone trying to make deals and outsmart one another. Like this is why I fell in love with Game of Thrones. And then we even got a little fight action almost. I'm here for this. I'm ready. I'm enjoying this so far. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think so far? We're 2 episodes into House of the Dragon. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you need more episodes before you can make a decision? Let me know in the comment section below. What did you think of this week's episode? What do you think of the season so far, 2 episodes in? Those are my thoughts on House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 2, The Rogue Prince. As always, my name is Sharronda from Pay Your Ways. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.